I'm in this lovely area of Pitt Meadows where the Pitt River comes from the lake and empties into the Fraser River. So these valleys here add a beautiful reflected light to some of the trees. And I've come here often, even sketched in watercolor. This was in the evening, so the shadows on the mountains here were quite profound. And then did a little lyrical, colorful expression of this area too. So today I'm going to work in oils, and I'm noticing the value changes of these particular 3 layers of foreground, midground, and background that might be fairly easy to grasp in paint, and then try to get some interesting color happening in this work. So we'll see what happens. So I have lots of different colors here because I don't know which ones I'll feel to be inspired by, but generally it is good to limit the color palette to just a few colors that you mix, and you can get some really nice darks, transparent darks with Pthalo green and Quinacradone magenta, so there's a really nice dark there. Payne's gray is always a good go-to, blue, and then you can add some of the other warmer colors to it, like ochre, and get some neutrals. So I'm just gonna mix a few of these, add a bit of blue maybe to it to make it more gray. And even this little combo of some of the darks in this palette here already inspire some of the shadows of the trees and the hills. So it'll be good to try to get the distant color lighter and a little more gray. So that could be something. Whoa, that purple, the oxazine purple really went. But to neutralize a blue, you just put a little bit of orange into it, and it should make it a nice gray out of that. So there we have, get some more titanium buff here, and there you have a more neutral sky watercolor. So I'm standing in a location here in the shade because it'll be easier to see the colors, and I see this leading line of these lovely grasses here. So I'm just putting this major foreground shape in. It's green, but I can have an undertone of this warm color because there's a lot of fall colors starting to show up. Okay, so I see this little bit of a creek in here. Another 3 big bushes. There's that tree here. Let's get a little darker right from the start. Okay, and then the background shape is sort of a green. Of course, the light's going to change as it travels behind me. And so the nice thing about plein air painting is either you can just try to grab and remember where the light was and work that way, or have the element of time, like a time-lapse photograph, walk through the painting and have the light change across the painting. So I'm just more concerned about trying to get the emotional feel of the place with the dark shadows, safety for little critters, shade, and then the brighter highlights that just reflect the sky, which is always so warm and beautiful. So the sky is lighter than those mountains, but that's not working out right now. It's pretty slick out here today with the colder weather. So I'll just see if I can some interesting strokes up here, keeping it fairly loose. So I'm going to try to grab some of this stuff fairly quickly, as if it's a timed 37 stroke and 37-minute painting. That way you don't think about things too much. And just grab a few of the things that catch my eye, including the foreground. Here's a little darker, so I'll get that happening here too. Sometimes palette knife can be our friend. Little bushes here. A little brighter green there. And oh, there's a lot of this warm grass here too. It's quite light actually. There's a few nicely lit grass right here. Oh. So wet on wood is kind of hard to sometimes get the colors right, so you want to be careful till it dries. And it's really wet out here. This is kind of hard to play on because the paint's not drying today very well. Question is whether I should implement some of this warm color. Yeah, it kind of warms it up. These little suggestions. Yeah, turn the brush around to just get some suggestions of these little warm leaves. There's some deeper ones down here. So I'm adding just a few last little color notes here. I'll finish this off with just little gestures of expressive color because it's a joyful day out here, and so we're thankful for that and enjoy the expression in color.